Hello? Hello, Hal? Hi, Hal. Donald from the Pinstripe Chronicles. Good to hear from you. Where are you right now? Oh, you're in Thailand. Interesting. Do you have any plans of coming back to New York by any chance? Why do you want to go back to New York? Because your team sucks. Yeah, your manager's fucked up another series. Yeah, we've lost 8 straight to Boston. Why should you care? Because you're the fucking owner. Get back to New York now. What the fuck? No, what the fuck? Get back to New York right now. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. That was pathetic. I'm annoyed. I'm disgusted. Fire everyone. Aaron Boone, you are pathetic. Captain Judge, great player, pathetic captain. Hal Steinbrenner, pathetic owner. Brian Cashman, pathetic GM. Mike Fishman, pathetic analytic guy. Honestly, this is pathetic. This whole thing is pathetic. You need to strip this whole thing down and get this fixed. Because this is pathetic. What we just witnessed there was honestly disgusting. It was actually saddening. I actually felt sad as that ninth inning continued to implode and implode and implode and implode. I actually felt kind of sad watching it. It was just kind of heartbreaking because you're just seeing the decline of a once proud organization before our eyes. The Red Sox are just pissing all over our graves right now. What they did in that ninth inning was a destruction and it was an embarrassment. And if there was anyone with any sense of pride, there would be firings right fricking now. There would be stuff breaking on X right now that so and so has been fired. If there was any semblance of pride in this organization, but there is absolutely no pride. There is no pride going on right now. Just listen to the interviews. Listen to the interviews. Listen to what they all say. They all say the same thing. Gotta play better. Gotta play better. Oh, gotta play better. Will Warren. Oh, gotta play better. Anthony Volpe. Gotta play better. It's just nothing. It's just nothing. Aaron Judge. I'm very disappointed listening to Aaron Judge. I mean, he's your captain. You hear what he said? He's like, gotta play better. Well, and then one person like asked him, he's like, well, you guys have been saying that all year, and you're now in August, end of August, and nothing's changed. Why is that? Well, you could probably ask 30 other teams, and they all say the same thing. Got to play better. What does that even mean? Come on! I'm not shitting on this guy as a player. This guy as a player is a very good fucking player. Probably the best player in baseball, but that attitude ain't getting nowhere. It's not impressive. I don't like to hear it. You got to stand up for this. I don't want to hear, I'm going to play better. Yeah, everyone's got to play better. I get that. But you are the captain of the Yankees. There are different standards. When you're the captain of the Yankees, there are different standards. If you're a captain of another team, you could probably say that. But when you're captain of the Yankees, you got to say something more. You got to make us feel as fans that there is something that's going to be changed here, but there isn't. It's all going to play better. Oh, the management can't do anything, coaches can't do anything, media can't do anything, players got to do it. Well, why haven't the players done it? Oh, you just got to play better. It's just repeating, repetitive, and I'm tired of it. It's just a shame, man. It's just sad. It's just sad. Again, if anyone gets into me in the chat saying, how could you be saying this about Judge? I'm not saying that Judge is the reason why we're losing. I'm saying I just don't like that attitude. I just don't like it. It needs to be, there has to be a little bit more urgency to it. I'm not asking him to destroy his teammates. I'm not asking him to destroy his best friend, Aaron Boone, but I'm just asking for a little bit more toughness. Just something a bit more than got to play better. I just ask for more than that because I've seen it in the past. There's a reason why the Dynasty Yankees don't watch this team anymore. There is a reason why. Because they're just disgusted looking at it. It's an awful, awful product to watch. The Yankees have embarrassed themselves again. I don't even know how Hal Steinbrenner with a straight face could honestly even charge any money for tomorrow's game. It should be free after what fans just witnessed there. I know it's so stupid, but it's true. It's just like, how can you with a straight face charge like all that money for a 99 burger and the money that they charge in that stadium, that shopping mall stadium, and there's no standards. It's embarrassing. There has to be some kind of standards in here. I don't know what is going on. Yeah. I'm joking that he's in Thailand. Maybe he's in Greece. Maybe he's in Corfu. Maybe he's in Rhodes. I don't know where the fuck he is, but he's not in New York. And that's where he needs to be. He's the owner. But there needs to be something to change here. And the fans don't deserve to be treated with this level of disrespect. We know that the Yankees are at war with their fans. We know that, right? Because we just listened to what Brian Cashman said last week, and I made a podcast about it. It was insulting, and it was basically targeting the fan base. But beyond that, if we heard from management, it would change a lot, because at least we would know that they're aware of what's going on, and they're not happy. I need to hear something. Because in the past, guys, right, whenever something went wrong, you know that George Steinbrenner would put a message forward through one of his media outlets. There would be something very clear going on where he's like, I'm not happy, right? And then it would put the Yankees on notice. Hal Steinbrenner has disappeared. He has no interest in putting anyone on notice. It doesn't seem like he cares. And until he comes out and he says X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to keep saying that he doesn't care. Because how could any owner of any organization watch your team get destroyed 12-1, lose 8 straight games to your bitterest rival, a historic rival, the bitterest rival, and you're silence, nothing. All we hear is the same stuff. Boone, gotta play better. Aaron Judge, gotta play better. Lamar, gotta play better. It's embarrassing. I don't know what else to say. It's embarrassing. I'm emotionally checked out, right, guys? I'm emotionally checked out with this. I'm emotionally checked out watching the Yankees right now. Because you can't keep, like, it's like being in an abusive relationship, right? You can't just keep just sitting there and taking it for 8 years. And it's been almost 8 years of this, guys. Nothing has changed since 2018. You have to be a moron if you're not paying attention to the fact that everything is exactly the same as it was in 2018. Nothing has changed. And the ending will be the same. The ending will be absolutely the same here. I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not Mystic Meg, but it's pretty obvious what's going to happen here. At the end of the year, it's going to end in disappointment. Right? So that's just that. We know what's going to happen. It's just the chapters are different. But the ending is going to be the same. And the storyline is the same. It's the same story. Just a little bit different cast. It's kind of like a Disney remake of the Bad News Bears. That's what the Yankees are like. They're the Disney remake of the Bad News Bears. Different cast, a little bit more woke, but it's the same story. Horrendous ball club. That's it. So that's it. That's the situation we're in right now. Just a horrendous situation we're in right now. The cast is different than 2018, but it's basically the same story. And it's run by Aaron Boone, who is as bad a manager as I've ever seen, considering the standards that he is upholding. I think he's one of the worst managers in baseball. When you consider the money that he inherits every single year, there's $300 million product on the field, and he can't get anywhere with this team. It doesn't matter if you got Juan Soto, if you got Aaron Judge, you got Big G, you got Garrett Cole, you got Max Fried, you got Rodon. It doesn't matter who comes out there. It's the same ending. And you can only look at the manager for that. If you can't get these guys in the best position to succeed, that's on you. So let's really look at this Aaron Boone situation, right? So as disgusted as I am with Brian Cashman's words to the fan base last week, I was disgusted, and rightfully so, because he said a whole lot of horse shit, right? But no one can deny that he had a pretty good deadline. He did his job at the deadline. He strengthened the bullpen. He strengthened the bench. He gave Aaron Boone plenty of options. He gave Aaron Boone so many options that you can actually now afford to sit Anthony Volpe, his golden child, his teacher's pet. You can now afford to sit him for arguably a better player. In fact, inarguably a better player than Jose Caballero. Much better player. He's got him now as an option. Doesn't use him that often. We didn't see him for 3 games after he hit 2 home runs in one game. Didn't see him for about 3 games. Meanwhile, Anthony Volpe is on some stretch of like he's 7 for 52 or some craziness. So there's options there. Now you've got a backup shortstop. Now you've got someone that could spell Volpe at short. You got Rosario, who crushed his lefties. This is the first time I've seen him. He's been given options. He's got a bullpen. He's got Bednar now. And he still can't seem to figure out how to get to Bednar. Brian Cashman, to be fair to him, even though I'm going to destroy him for how much he hates the Yankee fans, I have to say, he gave Aaron Boone some options. Certainly good enough to get you into a playoff spot comfortably. But Aaron Boone can't seem to get this team over the hump. Why is that? Because he sucks. That's why. But to go deeper than that, it's a culture problem. It's a culture problem. Aaron Boone has created this culture of a lack of accountability, but even more worrying is a lack of energy and a lack of fight, a true lack of fight. And they can't get up for the big games. They really struggle against even mediocre opposition to good opposition. The Yankees fall apart. It's now a given. I don't even know how people can get excited watching the Yankees in a big series because you know they're going to fuck it up. And it comes from the manager because his attitude, where it's like, could have played better, blowing some bubbles in the top step, that translates. It translates. It spreads. And now the entire locker room has got that. Aaron Judge parades it around. Anthony Volpe absolutely parades it around. Everyone uses this. Oh, gotta play better. Gotta play better. It's disheartening. But it's not just that. They are unprepared. The Yankees are very unprepared. And that, again, comes down to Aaron Boone. The Yankees are very unprepared. Just look at that situation where, again, they had another miscommunication in the ninth inning. And their pitcher threw to Ben Rice, who was standing behind him. I was just like, oh my God. They are unprepared. They are sloppy. Anthony Volpe throwing it in the backstop again. Just like the night before where Jazz Chisholm threw it into the stands. Yesterday, we had Anthony Volpe throw the wrong base again. And again, Aaron Boone defended him. There is a lack of preparation. They had no... I don't even know, did they have a plan for hitting Bale yesterday? Was there a strategy on how to hit Bale? Get him out the game. Was there any strategy there? What about Crochet today? Was there any strategy to get Crochet out the game? There's no strategy. There's no... I don't know what they do. Do they prepare for the opposition? And that comes down to Mike Fishman and his analytics team, but also Aaron Boone's lack of preparation. This team looks sloppy and unprepared in the biggest games, and it's never changed since 2018. That's why the Yankees have a below-average record, a below 500 record in the playoffs under Aaron Boone. Now, Aaron Boone defenders and the New York Yankees themselves will try and say, well, what about his regular season record? What about that? What about that? Well, what about the postseason? Because that's where it matters. Oh, postseason's a crapshoot. Well, to an extent, but if you put yourself in the best position to succeed, more often than not, you will succeed. But the Yankees don't. Thus, they do not succeed. It's very simple. But they love to be delusional, and they love to blame the fans, calling us idiots and morons, when it's very obvious what's going on. They are unaccountable, and they are lazy. And there's a lack of fight, there's a lack of leadership, and there's a lack of a lot of good things. And that's why the Yankees will not succeed under Aaron Boone. They will not. And until Brian Cashman makes some serious changes, then the same thing's going to happen every year, even without Aaron Boone. You probably get a new guy in, then it'll probably be the same thing. But there needs to be some accountability here, but it doesn't look like it's forthcoming because we've not heard from Hal. Brian Cashman defends everybody right now, embarrassingly. And Aaron Boone, he at least talks, but he has to. It's his job, but he doesn't give you anything. It's a real problem. There's so many problems here. The roster's good. It's fine. It's a good enough roster. It's a good enough roster that they should have been able to, at minimum, get a share of the series here. At minimum. But that's now cooked. There's some serious problems here, and really, if the Yankees cared, there'd be someone that would be fired. But they don't care. But I care about our fans, so let's get into the chat. We've got tons of people in the chat. This show is just as much for you guys as it is my venting. So 20 minutes, it's a pretty solid vent, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more of it the rest of the show. Let's get into some of this chat. There's a lot to break down. There's a lot to talk about. Let's see what we've got. Nathan in the chat, what's up? If they are going to get any young manager, it should be Skip Schumacher. Skip Schumacher is a very good manager. That's a very good suggestion. Yeah, let's think positively. Who could the Yankees hire? Who would you like to see? Yeah, Jonathan, need a new manager. Who's next? Okay, guys. Put it in the chat. Put your suggestions in the chat. We'll talk about it. Got Dev in the chat. Dev put re-up for 6 months, so appreciate you, Dev. Thank you so much. Let's see who the early bird was. The early bird was John the Beagle Dad. Good. Just in time to walk the pup, of course, is running out. I don't care. John the Beagle Dad's obviously pissed. And as you should be, this is a disgrace, my guy. Thank you for hopping on. We got Gunther. What is going on? MVP for hitting White Sox, Nats, and other bad teams. That's it. Smudge. Now I understand. Aaron Judge. There we go. Chicken Bucket, 99 Jersey Merchant. Bomb. Utter trash. My goodness. Well, one, that is a perfectly put point. My goodness. There's no other way I could even describe it. My goodness. Watching the top of the ninth inning was like watching people jump off a high cliff one by one. What an absolute horror show. That's a great point. Do you know what it was? It was a horror show. And I was kind of indifferent during the first 8 innings. But once the ninth inning hit, and then like we threw again to the wrong base, and then threw behind Ben Rice, and then Volpe threw into the backstop, and then it was hit after hit after hit, and then taking extra bases, and the Yankees end up losing 12-1. It was like a horror show. It was like watching a pile-up, one by one. It was like a pile-up. It was awful. It made me sad. It actually made me sad rather than angry. I just felt hurt. I felt hurt. That's actually the best way I could put it. I actually felt hurt. And that's unlike me, because normally I just like to rant and destroy the Yankees on this forum for their embarrassing performances, but I actually felt kind of hurt. That was horrible. I was just like, what has happened to this team that I love? What has happened to them? How are they so like indifferent and nonchalant to it when it hurts this much to watch this? How can the players just be like, it's all right, get them tomorrow? I don't know how they could feel that. And I know there's younger fans that are probably annoyed because obviously older ones like myself that have seen the good days probably get annoyed that we keep talking about it. But the reason why is not because I live in 1998. It's not the case. It's just that at one point we had standards. They were, the dynasty held standards, and that should be the standards that we aim for. I'm not asking them to emulate, because I mean there'll never be another dynasty. I'm not asking them to win like 120 games or anything like that, or anything crazy. I'm not asking for any of that. But there were certain standards that you could still rise up to. A level of dominance that you can still rise up to. But more importantly, a level of accountability. I mean, when the Yankees lost, in the rare occasions that they lost during that era, you felt that they were as hurt and angry as the fans were, as I was. You felt that. You felt that from the manager. You felt that from the owner. You felt that from the players. You felt that from Posada and Derek Jeter, who once looked at it after watching another team celebrate on their ballpark. They stood at the top step just watching, staring blankly, angrily, and you could tell, you could just feel their anger and their determination that wasn't going to happen next year. I just want to feel that the Yankees care as much as the fans do. But they do not care. They do not care. And that's why I was hurt. Just watching that, you cannot tell me, watching that game where it went from 5-1 to 12-1, and we were throwing it into the stands, and we were we tried to pick off movement, and ended up throwing behind Ben Rice, who was standing behind the pitcher. I mean, you watch all that stuff, you cannot tell me that the Yankees cared. The Yankees, they gave up. That's what they did. They gave up. And it hurt. It was like watching a pile up. It was like watching it pile up, and it was just soul destroying to watch it. It was a horror show. Got Steve O in the chat. Now, I've not seen Steve O before, so it's welcome to the Yankified podcast, the Pinstripe Chronicles. Fire everybody. You're right. TC Steele's season was a waste. It is. Welcome wishes we got Bregman. I wish we got Bregman too. I was saying it on our channel all off season. It's like, sign Bregman. He's sitting there. All it'll cost is money. He's going to get you above league average offense. He's going to give you above league average defense at third base, which we need. It's only going to cost us money, and we've got money because Soto left. We have money, but the Yankees played it cheap. They played it cheap and got what they deserve. I want the analytics guys to answer because good point, John, but they are unaccountable. They are as unaccountable as Hal Steinbrenner and George and Brian Cashman. Issy, no pride, no dignity, no shame. Yeah, shameless. Never been impressed with Judge hollow stats. Well, I'm not impressed with him in the playoffs. I'll give you that. He's a hell of a player in the regular season until he plays the Red Sox. I'm telling you, the real captain of this Yankee organization is Big G. He gets things done in the big games. You can't argue otherwise. Marshall Brown, no will to win. That's right. No one's getting. Oh God, dude! If there's no changes, I'm gonna have to seriously consider what to do next year, because I can't go through this again. It's like watching the same movie on repeat. You'd have to be an idiot to keep doing it to yourself. Yeah, I didn't feel any excitement for the winning streak either because I kind of knew what the Yankees are. You know what I'm saying? Luca, unpopular opinion. I don't think Aaron Judge cares about winning. I also didn't get hype after the Rays and Card. No, of course not. Judge also doesn't step up in the big series. Well, you're spot on. Judge doesn't step up in the big series. It's pretty much, I don't know, it's pretty much academic at this point. I didn't get hyped up for the Rays and Cardinals series either because I know what this team is. They're this. This is far closer to what the Yankees are than the winning streak is. Now, there is obviously that old adage in sports, which I do subscribe to, that you're never as bad as you are when you lose and you're never as good as you are when you win. It's always something in between. So, although I don't think we're as bad as losing 12-1 against the Red Sox, they are much closer to that than they are the team that won X amount of games against the Rays and Cardinals. They are much closer to a bad team than they are a good team because they've had a much longer stretch of being a bad team than they have of being a good team. They were pretty good for April. Pretty good for half of May. About 6 weeks, they've been pretty good. And they were good for about a week here. So they've been good for about 7 weeks. The rest of the time, they've been fucking dog shit. So it's almost 3 months of being dog shit and about 7 weeks of being okay. So that's really the facts here. The Yankees are not that good a team. Judge definitely doesn't care. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he doesn't care. I can't speak to him. I don't know what he's like behind the scenes. But he has to know that when you're the captain of the Yankees and you've inherited the captaincy from guys like Mattingly and Randolph and Thurman Munson and most recently Derek Jeter and Lou Gehrig, there are expectations not just on how you perform. He's got that side down. But there are expectations in terms of the locker room, which he's clearly not commanding because it's a shit show. And what you say to the media, because although you might be bored talking to the media is an extension to the fans. This is how the fans can hear what's going on. So expect my captain to lead, and he's not leading. Whenever Jeter spoke, you knew that there were standards, there were expectations. Even if he didn't really like go, he didn't rant or go in and say anything like crazy, but you kind of knew that there was like some standards going on. He would say pretty clearly what was wrong, what was right. But Aaron Judge doesn't do that. I know maybe it's obviously an Aaron Boone thing where it's like don't let the media or the fans get anything at all, but it's all the same, just like shrug, get it tomorrow, a little bit of a smile. We'll go and, there's always tomorrow. Dude, he said it in the World Series, so why am I surprised that he's saying it in August the next year? It's the same story. It's frustrating. I need to see a little bit more. This entire team is Delulu. It is. It's true. Loads of comments. Aaron Fudge is soft, bro. He smirks and smiles. I don't know whether it's like a nervous thing. I don't know whether that's I don't know. But all I can judge him for is what he says. And it's always the same. Just go play better. Come on, man. It's almost embarrassing. After losing 12-1, how about an apology? How about just saying that was horrible? Our fans don't deserve that. And it starts with me. But it's not. It's nothing. It's just like, oh, well, our players are going to play better. I mean, if you listen to what he said in that interview just there on the S Network, I just saw on X, I would show it here, but I'd get demonetized, so it's not worth it. But no, I'm not fucking losing any money to these Yankees. That's for fucking sure. But he was asked, you've been saying this all year. Why has nothing changed? And then he just went, well, 30 other teams would say the same thing. That is a shocking answer. That is a shocking answer. It's a cop-out. It's hurtful. It's a cop-out. I know it doesn't change you because you're getting paid fucking well. But a lot of fans pay hard money, travel all over the world to go see your product at Yankee Stadium. And then they watch them lose the Red Sox 12-1, throw the ball all over the ballpark. And then after the game, when you are hurt, you're hundreds of bucks down, and you're like, well, that was a wasted journey. And then you go on X, and then you see the captain of the Yankees going, go play better. That hurts, man. That's like embarrassing. He shows no emotion, zero, none, just robotic. Yeah. And maybe that's obviously part of it, but it's obviously like part of the message in the locker room. Don't give the fans anything. Don't give the media anything. Keep it all in house. I get that, but there has to be more. What did Jorge Posada say? You can't be friends with everyone. God damn. If anything, that should be the quote that should be on the Yankee clubhouse door now. It should be. That should be in the locker room right now. You can't be friends with everyone. Because I personally think that was not just a shot at Aaron Boone, Mr. Buffoon, but also our captain. Because we know that last year Aaron Judge went to bat for DJ LeMahieu to stop him from getting DFA'd. We know that. We know that he was best pals with Alex Verdugo. Alex Verdugo played every day. You know that he has personal friendships. And he's been going to bat behind the scenes for Aaron Boone for years. So I'm sorry. Even though there'll be a lot of people that will say, Aaron Judge is not accountable for this. Look at the numbers he's given. He's an MVP. I get it. But behind the scenes, he is just as accountable. Not in terms of performance. Performance, can't argue. This guy's an MVP. But behind the scenes, he is very much accountable. He absolutely is. Because he is wasting a golden opportunity to win a World Series. Jean-Jacques, I'm not a fan of Soto, but he looked pissed after losing. Yes, he did. Soto had so much energy, and I loved Soto. I didn't not like him. I loved him because he was someone that did care. He treated the big at bats the way that they should be treated. He treated them like it's a mission, and I'm gonna fucking succeed. That's what it was about, man. He loved to win. You could tell how much he loved to win, and you could see it all over his face when he succeeded. And he succeeded more times than he didn't last year. And he and Stanton were the only reasons why the Yankees made the World Series. It was nothing to do with Boone. It certainly wasn't anything to do with Aaron Judge. That's the truth. So it really hurt seeing Soto leave. And I do think that Soto was unimpressed by the Yankees. I think he was unimpressed by them, and I think that's why he left. It wasn't just finances, but I think he was unimpressed. He definitely cared. And I know that Aaron Judge is a different personality, but I would love to see Aaron Judge care as much. I would, even half as much. I would love to see it. Just in person, just like physically when he's playing. I would love to see it. I think it would be great. It would certainly help the locker room. I would love Posada as coach. I would. Yes, I'm the same. It's a great point. I never in my lifetime thought I'd see a player of Soto's stature willing to leave the Yankees. There has to be more to it than just money, man. Because the Yankees offered a ton of money. At least enough that it should have been a conversation, but I don't think he was that impressed with what the Yankees were saying to him. Because he was asking questions about the Yankees Academy. And Hal Steinbrenner, the fucking moron, thought that he was just interested. Maybe he just wanted to look at the facilities. Bro, he's been in the facilities. He's asking about your process. He's asking about your development process because he's not that convinced. That's why he asked. I was like, oh, seems like quite interested. No, you fucking idiot. I don't think Soto was that convinced about the Yankees long term, and I can't blame him because I'm not convinced by the Yankees long term either. And it comes from Aaron Boone, and it comes from Brian Cashman, and it comes from Hal Steinbrenner, it comes from Mike Fishman. But it's not. I'm not going to go back into this whole Soto stuff. It's past. We got Bellinger. He's been great. It's not about Soto, but I think it's about the bigger picture. I don't think the Yankees are very impressive right now. In fact, I know the Yankees aren't impressive right now. I don't think that they're that respected. And the problem is they're very comfortable. And I think that they're more comfortable in their jobs than they are of the best out of their organization. That's what I personally think. I think the Yankees are getting very comfortable now. I think that's what it's about. Karen, good to see Karen in the chat. I think they just know that as long as Steinbrenner, Cashman, and Boone are around, they're going nowhere. Yep. That's the truth because we are going nowhere with the three Stooges. We are going nowhere with them. We'll get to a certain level, but we can't get over the hump. And instead of And the problem is the Yankees are very delusional because when they do fail to get over the hump, they instead look for excuses in order to cover why they're not getting over the hump. And excuses are the biggest sign of a loser. You know you're the biggest loser when you, instead of looking at yourself and how you could do better, you make excuses. Oh, it's that problem, this problem, that problem, your problem, not my problem. That is a loser mentality. And that has seeped into this organization now, and it needs to be cut out. It needs to be cut out. It's a loser mentality, and it's been going on for years, guys. For years. Brian Cashman only cares about his job right now. So he, instead of looking to try and make this team a juggernaut, he looks to make excuses. He makes excuses for Boone. He makes excuses for himself. But the list of excuses are something else. If you go back, all you have to do is Google it. And some of the things that he says, like at one point, he said a couple of years ago, he says that he counted the Yankees as 2017 world champions. He did say that. I count the 2017 as a championship. Mofo, you can't make up championships. I know you're pissed at the Astros. We all are. But you have to move on. You can't just make up a championship. Oh, well, you know what? I just count it. We're champions. That's that's loser shit. When you just make up a championship. Oh, no, I count that. I count that. Come on, man. That was embarrassing. And if you guys don't believe me, if you guys have forgotten, just Google it. He did say that. He did say, I count us as 2017 champions. That's an embarrassment. There was also a quote that I read out last week where he was talking about how in 2022, after the Yankees lost in the playoffs in 2022, he said he was having a conversation with Omar Minaya, and then he said that it was the Yankee fans' expectations that were the problem. There was perception versus reality. He said the perception is that the Yankees underachieved, but the reality is that they had a hell of a run at it. That's just delusional. It's delusional and arrogant. Blame the fans. It's your expectations that are the problem. That's what he said. That was back in 2022. Now you fast forward to what he said last week, and it was the same stuff. It was excuses and blaming the fans. It's embarrassing. So Brian Cashman is at the head of it. But then you've also got Aaron Boone and his excuses. Oh, it was the weather. Oh, it was the turf in Toronto. Yeah, but dude, you had a bunch of errors in the series before Toronto. No, it was just Toronto. We have trouble with Toronto. No, we're just getting swept here at Yankee Stadium by the Red Sox. No, it's just it's just excuses. And then the excuses that he makes for Anthony Volpe is embarrassing. Fictitious championships is delusional on a clinical level. Exactly. Jared, good to see you. This team is so pathetic. Amen. All of these excuses. Yeah, it's Volpe's first error in weeks. That was a good one. That was good. I came across that one. It was Volpe's first error in weeks. As if that's okay. And then what did he say? What did he say yesterday when Volpe threw to the wrong base? Oh, it was close. It was close. He almost had him. Are you serious? Are you serious? The excuses are embarrassing. Volpe still doesn't impress me. Volpe never has impressed me. Volpe's terrible. He's a terrible baseball player. Yeah, that's it. Boone said it was a heady play regarding Volpe's throw at second base. It was a heady play. What does that even mean? But also, the funny thing was, he actually said that he actually caught himself out yesterday during the press conference where he said, well, it was obviously the wrong play, but it was a heady play at the same time. What the fuck are you talking about? That's a contradiction. You can't say it was the wrong play, but a heady play. That doesn't make sense. Heady play means heads up, I guess. Yes, it should be. It's a heads up play. That normally means, in baseball jargon, it's like smart, quick thinking, good, good call. It was a high fundamental play. But then he also said it was the wrong play at the same time. So which one is it, you fucking idiot? Stop making excuses for this kid. Because it ain't helping him. It's not helping Anthony Volpe at all. Aaron Boone thinks he's helping him. He's hurting him. It's actually hurting his development. It's not helping him. Do you know what would help his development? Being fucking honest. That would help his development. Looking straight to the camera and saying that was the wrong play. At times, the ball eats him up, or at times the game speeds up for him. We need to get to the bottom of it. He needs to get to the bottom of it. We love. You can even make up some shit just to make him happy and make everybody happy. We love a lot of the things that he does out there, but at times the game speeds up for him. If we could just get him to process and make the right play in these situations, then we're going to have a hell of a ball player. If he said something like that, even though it's nonsense and we know that Anthony Volpe sucks ass, that's not throwing anyone under the bus. It's constructively helping him because it's true. Anyone with eyes can see that the game speeds up for Anthony Volpe. Especially late in the game. Late in the game tends to speed up for him, and he makes some really critical errors. And even if they don't show up as an error, he makes a lot of poor decisions, like throwing to the wrong base, getting himself thrown out in the base paths, these kind of things. And I swear down that if there was a manager out there that could hold him somewhat accountable, you would see a better Anthony Volpe. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to see a good Anthony Volpe, but you'll see a better one. And by the way, he's in an awful slump again. Ungodly slump again. This is who he is. So when I hear again Aaron Boone yesterday going, oh, we just got to get him going, he's never once gotten going. He has an OPS of the Devil's number, 666. His OPS is nonsense. He's never gotten them going. All he's showing is that he can't play in the bigs right now. That's all he's proven. He can't get on base. He hits the occasional home run to the short porch. But that comes down to something deeper. It comes down to something deeper. The Yankees only care about exit velo. And I think that they only care about a pull hitter swing. I think that's all that they care about. I think they want an uppercut, and then they want exit velo. That's what they focus on. They don't care about fundamentals. Anthony Volpe has no approach at the plate, none. And by the way, Karen's spot on. Neither does Jazz. Jazz makes my blood boil too, Jazz. Jared, you're right. Jazz is another one, but at least he's productive. Volpe's not productive, but Jazz is productive, but he holds himself back from being the next level. And I think, again, it comes down to the manager. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. But it's not just the manager, it's the organization. All Jazz aims for is the right field short porch. Same with Anthony Volpe. A lot of them have the same approach, but they don't adjust that approach. Jazz continues to swing 100% right through his shoes all the time. Same with Anthony Volpe. .679 OPS is bad, but I believe his career OPS is like 666. 209 batting average, 276 on base percentage. That means he's only getting on base 27% of the time. 209 batting average is absolutely disgraceful, even for people that say the batting average doesn't matter. 209 does matter. Well, there's nothing else to talk about from the network, and there's nothing to play on and nothing to talk about on the field. Talk about the 46,000 people that much of them were chanting, "Let's go Red Sox." So that's not a great sign. Is there something going on at Yankee Stadium, guys? Because I'm not hearing much of an atmosphere. I mean, I went to one game in July, and this is the last game I'm going to go to this year. They don't deserve my fucking money. But there doesn't seem to be much of an atmosphere this year. Is anyone else agreeing with me? Like, in previous years, with this kind of level of disaster, they would be booing so loud and so vociferous that it would be like intimidating. But I didn't. There was a couple of scattered boos today, but I didn't even hear anything. And look at us spot on. The atmosphere sucks at Yankee Stadium compared to years past. It's an adult amusement park for tourists. Yeah, I think that's it. Yankee Stadium sounds dead. It does. I think that's a sign that a lot of the fans are checking out. I mean, the fans that I've spoken to have all kind of checked out. It's kind of like a ambivalence right now. Yeah, I think the Yankee fans are just numb. I think they are too because it's the same story. It's the same story. Nothing changes. Same excuses. But the thing is, the Yankees don't care. They don't care. As long as there's 46,000 people there, they don't care. Yankees are monopolizing their brand for profit. Their brand, not a team. That's right. It's sad. It's really sad, guys. As I said, I just felt kind of hurt just watching that game today. Instead of my normal anger, I was just sort of like, what has happened? Like, what has happened? How is this okay? I mean, they kind of fight back, but they fought back in previous series, but they're just so clueless. And they're fundamentally broken. I don't know what else to say. We are fundamentally broken. I'm honestly astonished how it's gone to this. I'm astonished it's gotten to this point. How can this be okay? I mean, prediction, guys. Is Aaron Boone going to survive this at the end of this year? Are the Yankees going to fire Aaron Boone at any point? Do you think that he's going to survive this? I want to hear some comments in the chat. Do you guys think that Aaron Boone, deep down, will be fired, or do you think he's going to come back next year? When, and I say when, the Yankees get eliminated. whether it's in October or whether they miss the playoffs. I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs. I think they're. I think. I think he will get us to like the third wild card, but we will get eliminated. At that point, do you think he'll get fired? Karen Delaney, do you mean he better not, as in terms of he better not be fired, or he better not stay? Owen says he hopes so. Well, I mean, I think we all hope so. I don't know many Yankee fans that actually believe in this guy. The only people that believe in Aaron Boone is Hal Steinbrenner and probably Aaron Judge and Brian Cashman. Unfortunately, all the people that matter. But anybody else, I don't think has any belief in this guy. Healing Man says Boone will be back if they make the playoffs. Oh God, I can't take the pain anymore. Oh, he better be going. Yeah, spot on, Karen. Absolutely. I wish I could say I'm surprised by 100% expected balls. Oh yeah, I had the Red Sox winning 3 out of 4 at minimum, or sweeping. So I'm not surprised. I'm just amazed. Oh, sorry, dude. I can't take the pain anymore. Like I might need to just like buy a fucking boat and just live like fucking on a boat. Away from wife. I can't take the pain anymore of watching what Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner are doing to the Yankees. I can't do it. It's too painful. The fact I've managed to last this long since 2018 watching this horseshit on repeat, it's incredible. But I don't know if I can do it again. Because how can we keep being this stupid? Like, this is crazy. This is unprecedented levels of incompetence. Right. You're right. But in fairness, although Cashman is a lot to blame, he did give Aaron Boone a decent roster after the deadline. And Aaron Boone still can't manage it. So that's probably why I look at Boone more. But, I mean, the fact is, you're right. If you're really looking at the person to blame for all of this, although this year I primarily blame Aaron Boone, because I think this is his worst managed year since he was hired. This is really bad. And considering some of the horrible years that he's managed, like 2023, the COVID years, all those things where they were just flat out unbearable, I still think this is the worst year he's been in charge. Like, he has just imploded this team. But overall, since 2018, I would say that Brian Cashman is to blame. Because, as Luca has pointed out in the chat before, the Yankees set a very bad precedent after 2017. After 2017, where they had a very successful year, where their young players developed very, very well, they exceeded expectations, they got to the precipice of a World Series, they then fire the manager, fire the coaching staff, and then have wholesale changes. That set a bad precedent. And the only way that would have been a good move is if you actually hired a genuine upgrade to them, but you didn't. And that's where it all went wrong. That's where it all went wrong. Brian Cashman wanted to fundamentally change the organization, not for the better, but for his own ego. To quote-unquote modernize the Yankees, but really, deep down, is his own ego. He gets a pay rise, and then the manager only gets paid buttons in comparison. Strip the manager of all power. Have the manager accountable to the front office, Mike Fishman and Brian Cashman. Dictate the lineup, dictate roster decisions, dictate personnel, dictate bullpen lanes, all that to the manager. Manager's a puppet. That's what they wanted. And they also wanted a manager that would be Barney, the friendly dinosaur. Instead of helping players get better, just tell them how amazing they are. Take them out for cookies and ice cream when they have a bad day. That's what they wanted. And they've got that. They've succeeded in that. It's not helped us, and it's had us take massive step backs. But that's exactly why Brian Cashman did that. And ever since then, and when it was very clear that this was a mistake, they doubled and trebled and quadrupled down on it. They got their bunker mentality, surrounded themselves with yes men, and then just start blaming the fans and start blaming other things, start blaming the weather, start blaming the Astros, start blaming anything they could think of to blame in order to cover for their own mistakes. Frankly, when Aaron Hicks was getting booed, Josh Donaldson was getting booed because they were so embarrassing. Joey Gallo was getting booed because he was so embarrassing. Did Brian Cashman look at his process? No. He told us all how much he loves his process. His process is great. Our process is fantastic. Very, very proud of our process. It was the fans' fault for creating an intimidating atmosphere. He said it. This is what's been going on. It's been going on for years. The fans are being targeted, and the Yankees wrap themselves in a bunker mentality. They get very defensive. If you look at the definition of bunker mentality, siege mentality, the definition is you put yourself in a constant state of defense. You get defensive, and you lash out. Doesn't that sound a lot like Aaron Boone in the media? Doesn't that sound a whole lot like Brian Cashman in the media? The Yankees have a siege mentality. They do. Meredith Murakovich asked Aaron Boone about Anthony Volpe. Aaron Boone starts swearing. Sounds like you're a little bit defensive there, Aaron. Brian Cashman gets asked why the Yankees can't win any championships. What does he do? He makes up a championship. Oh, we won one in 2017. No, you didn't. Oh, it's the fans' fault. It's fans' expectations' fault. That's why the Yankees are not succeeding. As you say, Donald, the Yankees work under a bunker mentality. Reminds me of the FBI crackdown in S1 of The Sopranos. Tony, seems like you can only run a family these days as bunkers. Yeah. Well done, man. Spot on. The Yankees have a siege mentality. They absolutely have a siege mentality. I have been saying it till I'm blue in the face. All you have to do is look at Yankee quotes, and it's the same thing. It's blaming us. Blaming us. We're the problem, not them. Their process is great. What did Brian Cashman say? He said that what did he say? Well, he said so many crazy things, but he particularly said things such as no one will lose their job as long as they follow the process. It's not about wins or losses. It's about following the process. That doesn't sound to me like they're too accountable, does it? Does it sound like they're accountable to you? Because they're not. And that's why it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. It's really embarrassing. So it does start with Brian Cashman. Of course it starts with him. Brian Cashman, after what he said to WFAN in February of 2023, felt like the way our fan base reacted, we got knocked out in the first round. The reality was we had a hell of another run at it. Doesn't that sound to you like he's blaming the fans? Yes, he's blaming the fucking fans. It's not our problem, it's your problem for expectations. I'm very frustrated hearing it because the only reason why I'm bringing back previous quotes is to remind you that nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. This is years of the same excuses. Years of the same excuses. Brian Cashman said that the Yankees basically won in 2017 if it wasn't for cheating circumstances. Yeah, there was cheating, absolutely, but you can't count yourself as champions considering the Dodgers had just as much of a right to the championship as you did. The only thing that stopped the Yankees was something that was so illegal and horrific. So I count us as champions. You can't count yourself as champions. He also said when the Yankees acquired Giancarlo Stanton, he called us the little engine that could. Does that sound like the little engine that could? You just acquired the MVP of the National League. He's a bullshit artist. And he's also such a contradiction because he did count us as the 2017 champions, but he fired the manager. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. The only thing, I just read that quote, the only thing that stopped the Yankees in 2017 was something so horrific, so egregious, horrible cheating. So his answer to that was to fire his manager? How is that fucking even acceptable? There should be a tribunal for that shit. So if he basically counts us as champions in 2017, yet he fires the manager. It's not about getting better. It's about him. It's about his ego. That's what it's about. It's not about being the Yankees being the best of the best. It's not about that. It's about his ego. You can't make this up. Exactly, Jared. You can't make this up. Jordy should never have been fired. Of course he shouldn't have been fired. I want to shave your head. I mean, this exactly. Here we go. See, I got you guys pissed, as you should be. Because the thing is, his bullshit narratives are so easy to cut through. It's so easy to cut through his nonsense. But he thinks that we're all stupid, but we're not all stupid. Some of us are pretty fucking smart. It didn't take very long to cut through his bullshit about 2017. So if the only reason why the Yankees didn't win in 2017, even though he counts us as 2017 champions, is because we were egregiously cheated, then why did you fire the manager? Brian? Oh, right. Because you want a yes man. You want a puppet. Because you don't want someone that's going to talk back to you. Because you got a fucking enormous ego. That's what it's about. Your enormous ego. And you still could have saved this from this oblivion that we're in right now had you wised up to your mistakes. But you refused to do it. You've doubled and trebled and quadrupled down on Aaron Boone. Now we're in oblivion. What did he say about Aaron Boone last year? He said to be a feeding frenzy for Aaron Boone. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. A feeding frenzy for Aaron Boone. I would love to watch the reactions of every GM that watched that game today. And I want them to go, oh, what's Aaron Boone's number? I got to have him next year. Yeah, like, feeding frenzy for Aaron Boone. Are you fucking for real? The only feeding frenzy for Aaron Boone is if you dropped him in a fucking pool of sharks. That's where there would be a feeding frenzy. It would be a feeding frenzy for him as a manager. His skills are useless. He has no skills. He's not aware of anything. He's not perceptive. He can't see a couple steps ahead. He just stands in the top deck of the dugout blowing massive pink bubbles. That's all he does. Not a feeding frenzy for Aaron Boone. That's embarrassing. All these excuses can easily be cut down. All these excuses. We can't have Aaron Boone test the market because there'd be a feeding frenzy for him. Really? Oh, really? Well, the Red Sox seem to have no problem. They've just beat us 8 straight times. The Blue Jays have no issue with us. They've destroyed us this year. Wild. The excuses are hilarious. Right, Arman, absolutely. Some dumb owner would do it, but it would be a really dumb owner for a useless organization like the Rockies, or the Pirates. It would be a loser organization. Can't make a lineup. It's really the excuses that have been the problem. Had the Yankees wised up to this a couple of years ago when they had every opportunity, then they could have fixed this. But they are unaccountable and they refuse to take account for it. The ideal opportunity to fire him was when they got swept in the ALCS. That was the ideal opportunity to fire him, where he misread and mismanaged the entire playoffs. And then they got completely embarrassed in the ALCS. That was an ideal opportunity to fire him. But instead, Brian Cashman blamed the fans. That was it. This was the 2022 where Brian Cashman said that it was perception versus reality. Our perception is that we underachieved. The reality is they were great. They got swept in the ALCS, and he's saying they were great. Had a hell of a run. What? That was the perfect time to fire him. He mismanaged Garrett Cole. He didn't tell Harrison Bader that he was leading off. He didn't do anything. And he sent out a punt lineup in game 1 of the ALCS, and that set the tone. But they doubled down. Trebled down. Clay Holmes said he was available, Boone said he wasn't. Exactly, Luca. He mismanaged 2022. And then, of course, there was that whole farce about the Red Sox video. But yet it's the fans' fault. I could have told them for free that the Yankees were never going to win a World Series with Aaron Boone in charge after 2022. I could have told them that for free. In fact, I could have done one better. And what about the year where they had the whole Deivi Garcia, J-Happ fiasco, which Clint Frazier, by the way, brought up last week. It was classic Yankees trying to think that they're the smartest guys in the room again. It was a complete clusterfuck of a decision, and it cost the Yankees in the playoffs. After that embarrassment where the Yankees got, and yeah, Brian Cashman pulled out a dossier, man. Press conference. Brian Cashman brought out a fucking folder. He just started reading. Excuse number 1. Excuse number 2. It's J-Happ's fault. It's the fans' fault. Tampa Bay Rays' fault. Excuse number 62 was the weather. It was COVID. It was injuries. Read out a fucking dossier of nonsense. Just read it out. The fucking folder of bullshit. I'm like, oh my God, the Yankees are cooked. The Yankees are completely cooked. It was such an egregious decision that Michael Kay was losing his mind about it. Everyone in baseball were laughing at the Yankees, and the Yankees were so delusional and so arrogant that they refused to look at themselves. So I've just spent the last 20 minutes going through the Yankees list of excuses, and it's been going on for years. It's classic projection, exactly. Great point, Issy. It's classic projection. It's classic. So Brian Cashman's excuses last week were just more of the same. It was more the same projection with the weird reference to WWE. The market already provides instant accountability. Today's world is so much different than generations before. I think leaders, managers, coaches are more inclined to try and support and help. Blech! Fucking bollocks. I'm not an advocate of becoming Randy Macho Man Savage or John Cena from WWE and providing a power drive to finish off the victim victim being the player who's having a bad day, who's struggling, who's going through a lot, and then fans are piling up on him, and then the media, blah blah, wah fucking wah. Blame the fans again. It's an insult to our intelligence. It's an insult to our intelligence. Oh, the fans are piling up on them. They're having a hard day. They're having a hard time. You're blaming the one fan out of a bunch that stupidly maybe comment on someone's DMs or anything like that. The vast majority of us do not do anything as stupid as that. We're just hurt. We're angry. We're embarrassed at yourselves. I'm past blaming individual players, although I think Anthony Volpe is fucking garbage. But I'm past blaming the individual players. It's the organization, because it's the organization is largely at fault here. The organization has made Anthony Volpe 100 times worse than he actually is. If they sat down with him and were pretty tough with him and like cut out this nonsense and had him work with somebody, have him work serious infield drills, have him work with Willie Randolph, have him work with someone who's a really good infielder, have him work with him. Work hard with him, but also be tough with him. No bullshit, guy. There should be no bullshit with Anthony Volpe. Stop throwing the wrong base. Fix your arm. And then you also need to fix his swing, because Paul O'Neill keeps saying it. So I don't know why the Yankees pay no attention to it. His hips are flying open all the fucking time. I can see it. I'm not even a qualified batting coach, and I'm not Paul O'Neill, and I can see it. His hips are flying open. He's always rolling over, or he's popping up because he's out in front all the fucking time. I can see it. Paul O'Neill can see it. The video can see it. Anybody with a brain can see it. The Yankees don't see it. Why? Because the Yankees are stupid. Anthony Volpe has a gigantic hole in his swing. It's very easy to get him out because he's constantly out in front. I'm not even a qualified batting coach, and I can see it. It's very obvious. Honestly, you'd have to be fucking Stevie Wonder not to see it. But the Yankees prefer to blame us. Blame your lying eyes. It's not us. Anthony Volpe's the best. He's the greatest. He's elite. What did fucking Aaron Boone say? He's fucking elite. He's fucking elite. No, he's fucking not elite. If they had some kind of level of responsibility for Anthony Volpe where he has to play a better level of shortstop, and then he has to tighten up on his swing, stop focusing on the short porch all the time, level out his swing, I think you would see a slightly better Anthony Volpe. His player makeup is not a home run or bust guy. That shouldn't be his makeup. He should be a contact guy. If they don't fix that, he will be a complete bust and he will be out of the league very soon. Very soon. Very, very soon. I'm not actually convinced that outside the Yankees, he would start as a shortstop for many organizations. Because the analytic organizations are going to look at his OPS and say, right, he's in the 660s. That's like, 50% below average. His on-base percentage is 200. That's like 140, 130 points below average. You know, and you look at his WARs, below average. You look at his fielding percentage, below average. You look at his fielding, below average. You look at his base runnings, below average. You're going to look at that and go, this guy's not a good player. He probably shouldn't play. In fact, he should probably be in AAA. That would be in basically any organization that does any analytics. I'm not sure where he would be a starting shortstop. You look at the rest of the league, I'm not sure where Anthony Volpe would be a starting shortstop. He'd maybe start for the Pirates. I don't know. Marlins, I don't know. It would be a bottom feeder team, but I'm not even guaranteed that he would start there either. Because statistically, he's got the worst fielding percentage among shortstops in the American League, and he's been one of the least productive players in baseball, full stop, baseball. Not American League, not the East, baseball. Full stop, baseball. Anthony Volpe has been terrible. But the Yankees are delusional. They say it's you don't know what you're seeing. That's what they're saying. So yeah, you can make the joke that it's because he's from fucking Jersey and he's a Yankee fan. Because why else would he be playing every day? Because the Yankees have made more excuses for him than anybody else. Did you guys see the Yes Network after he made that ferocious error where he threw almost into the stands? The Yes Network, the very first caption that came up was, first error since July 29th. So everyone's in on the agenda. It's not that he's terrible. Look, he's not had an error in 3 weeks. And Aaron Boone said the same thing afterwards. He's not had an error in weeks. Who give a fuck? He's got 17 errors for the season. That's embarrassing. Caballero should be playing shortstop. Of course he should be playing shortstop. It was a great deal. Got a steal of a deal from Cashman. I ripped Cashman apart, but he brought in a very good shortstop right there, and he should be playing him, but he doesn't. Because of an agenda. The Yankees have an agenda. And it's not about winning. The agenda is proving the fans wrong. That's a stupid agenda. They need to fix this, man. They need to get rid of these excuses, and it starts by getting rid of the people at the top. Infuriating. A-Rod did say it best. Volpe needs to go gap to gap, but then of course all the young analytic people were like, "Oh, could you say that? Look at his number." What A-Rod was trying to say was his makeup doesn't suit someone that only aims for the fences. He needs to level out that swing, go gap to gap. Yes. That was pure common sense. But the Yankees don't go by common sense. They go with Mike Fishman. And Mike Fishman is as far from common sense as humanly possible. So I could say the Three Stooges, but it's actually four idiots. Because Mike Fishman is as big, or if not the biggest problem. Oh God, could you imagine? Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees just try and piss us off, and then give Anthony Volpe a 5-year deal, 6-year extension. Just be like, he's our shortstop. Fuck you all. I could totally see it. I could totally see it. Because that's what the Yankees are about now. It's not about like who's best, how we're gonna win. It's not about being the best. It's about proving their agenda right, proving their process right, and proving the fans wrong. They are at war with us. They have no respect for us. They think we're idiots. This is how Cashman and the analytics group for the Yankees want to hit like McMahon, Donaldson, Gallo. Yep. McMahon's a hell of a fielder, but fuck me. That guy can't hit. That guy cannot hit. Fuck me, that guy can't hit. Volpe should be gone after the season. He would be gone if another GM came in. I guarantee. Oh, that was another excuse for Brian Cashman. Remember that excuse? When Joel Sherman was like, your development is coming on. Your development is a spotty record. And then he was like screaming at Joel Sherman, well, wait till you see Anthony Volpe. When he's amazing next year, you can come back to me next year when Anthony Volpe is amazing next year. He was just getting his sea legs because he didn't have much AAA time. Well, the reason why he didn't have much AAA time is because of you. The reason he didn't get his sea legs is because of you, because you forced him into the majors way before he was ready. But let's forget about that bit. How about that bit where he's just like, well, you can come back to me with my excellent development next year when he's great next year. Well, he's not great. So are you going to be accountable to that, Brian? No, you won't, because it'll be everyone else's fault. Yeah, exactly. That was it. When he's raking next year. That's what he said. When he's raking next year, be sure to come back to me. Well, he's not fucking raking, is he? Fucking awful, man. Right. They destroyed Peraza. Poor Peraza, man. He's a shell of himself. That's what they've done to players, man. That's why I called it the Yankified podcast, because that's what the Yankees do. They Yankify players. Once they get a hold of a player, they fucking destroy them. That's what they do. That's why I'm amazed that the players actually succeed. I'm like, wow, you made it through? You made it through the assault course of Brian Cashman, Mike Fishman, and Aaron Boone, and you're still succeeding? Holy shit, you must be great. There's been a handful of players that have succeeded getting through that assault course of idiots. One of them is Giancarlo Stanton, and still only half the fan base like him. That dude with no fucking legs has survived, and he's still an absolute titan. He's our only offense and our only fucking leader. Aaron Judge has succeeded despite them, statistically anyway. Bellinger, he's not been here long enough. I just want to. I'm afraid. I'm afraid what the Yankees do to him if he extends his contract. Joey Gallo was like a 45 home run titan, and the Yankees got a hold of him, and he became a pitcher. The Yankees Yankified players, man, they destroy them. They destroy them. Holy fuck. Well, that's why. You're right. That's why Judge has succeeded. That's why Ben Rice has succeeded. Because they have their own hitting coach away from the Yankees. Yes, Jason Dominguez is getting Yankified too. Exactly, man. Oh, Dominguez is getting absolutely Yankified. He's a butcher in left field now. He can't play the outfield. And yeah, his offense is declining. And now the Yankees can't trust themselves to play him. I don't even think they like him that much. Dominguez has been super Yankified. And I worry for Spencer Jones as well. Austin Wells. Oh my God! Last year, Austin Wells was like a heads-up player. I loved his attitude. He was all action. He gave you some power. He gave you some good base running. He gave you excellent fielding. This year, he's been Yankified because now he's getting himself caught out in the base pass. He doesn't know how many outs there were. He's just fucking wandering about. And his offense is taking a massive dip. He's been Yankified. Austin Wells. Who else has been Yankified? A lot of them have been Yankified, man. Anthony Volpe, Yankified. He went from a top 100 prospect in the MLB to an absolute disgrace and a disaster, and he should not even be playing baseball. The Yankees Yankify people. They absolutely Yankify people. Look what they're doing to Duvall. Duvall was acquired. Guy throws 101 mile an hour cutters and fastballs and everything, and the Yankees have had him for about a week, and he can't throw. He's awful. The Yankees Yankify people, man. And I'm afraid for them. I'm afraid for these players that we acquire because our process, Brian Cashman says we've got the best process in the world. Our process sucks. Why would any free agents come to this Yankee team? Exactly. Soto didn't. We need an infield overhaul. Dude, we need an overhaul. We need a management overhaul. We need an analytics overhaul. We need a coaching staff overhaul. We need a GM overhaul. And then, yes, we do need an infield overhaul. We absolutely need an infield overhaul. The Yankees have a very short-term approach. Like, they take things by like a deadline-to-deadline approach instead of a long-term vision. And it's absolutely blown up in their face. They go deadline to deadline. They need to have a long-term vision. They don't have one. And that's Brian Cashman's fault. Like McMahon, for instance, that's not a long-term vision. That was a deadline-to-deadline vision. Even though you're now on the hook to him for years. But he's not someone that you can really, realistically be excited to pencil him in at third base next year. Like, defensively, yeah. Offensively, can hit. And he strikes out 3 times a game. Minimum. That was a little bit of a short-term move, an expensive short-term move. Not expensive in terms of personnel, but in terms of what you're paying them next year. And that was just to cover up for the mistake that they made with DJ LeMahieu. So, like, third base was a mistake. They fucked that up. They fucked that up royally. Jazz Chisholm's out of control. He needs to be managed. I'm not even sure you could really. Can you really talk about extending him? Like I was all in on extending him, but until this year's worn on, I've actually kind of my patience is worn thin on Jazz Chisholm. Not necessarily about his production, but it's just in his general attitude. I don't know how locked in he is in games. It just seems far too fucking like cool, calm, and collected for this. And he's also like a bit of a hothead. He loses his mind very quick. I'm not sure if that's a winning type combination. His approach is a little bit like all or nothing. And his attitude, I'm not sure about. Like he's a fun kid, but at times I don't know if he's got a winning mentality. And then you just see the kind of things that he does where he gets himself thrown out of games just for arguing for no reason, where he should just be going to the dugout, constantly mouthing at the other team's dugout and all that stuff. It's just like I think he's becoming a bit of a distraction. Healing Man says Jazz has to go. I think he's a very good player. I think he's a 5-tool player. I think he's a very good player. The Yankees have acquired a 5-tool player that has a ton of talent, and he's productive. But he's also not someone that I'm convinced you can win a championship with. I'm not sure whether that kind of out of control personality is a winning combination. Uncle Tats had a good comparison with like Nick Swisher, but Nick Swisher, obviously, as you pointed out, was someone that was like a high energy guy, a little bit out of control energy, but fun guy, good for locker room, get that. But he was very much focused on winning, and when it was winning time, he went ahead and did it. I've not seen that from Jazz Chisholm yet. I'm not going to overly give up on him yet, but my patience is very much wearing thin, especially when he said that he would do it again after he got thrown out in the Marlins game on a pop-up in front of him. And he got thrown out, and then he told the media afterwards, I would do the same thing again. That's not someone that's accountable. I'm not sure that's a winning combination. That's my personal opinion. I'm not saying that I dislike the guy. I think he's a productive player. He's a good player, but I'm not sure if the Yankees could extend him. I don't trust him. Right. That's a good point. Disheveled bum in his uniform, disinterested. That's a good point. I get that too. I think he gets a little bit disinterested at times. There's times his attitude looks wrong, looks off. I'm not sure if that's a winning combination. Maybe it's partly because I'm old school and I've never really quite seen a Yankee player that succeeded with that kind of personality. But at the moment, I don't see it. I don't know if I would extend him. And I was actually on board with extending him a couple months ago. But as the months have worn on and these losing streaks have gone on and he's just kind of been like lounging around, I don't know. It gives me weird vibes. And I also didn't like his behavior at the All-Star weekend either. I thought it was a bit of a clown show. Like his home run derby theatrics, where he hit no home runs and he was just clowning around. Dude, you're representing the Yankees. No matter where you go, you're representing the Yankees. You have to remember that. So I'm a little bit off on him, a little bit down on him right now. So I'm really not sure. The Yankees don't have a first baseman. Second baseman, I'm not sure if we've got the long-term answer. We might. That's a question mark. Shortstop, they don't have one unless they play Caballero. But Volpe's definitely not it. So that's an issue. Third base, I don't think that's a long-term issue either. Catcher, Austin Wells doesn't look like to be your long-term catcher either. Ben Rice might be, but he is not great defensively, as you obviously saw yesterday. So there are some concerns. The infield does need overhaul. Yeah, man, I'm with you on that. I'm just seeing that too. Just like I came in with when we acquired him, I was super excited. I was like, I love this player because I was keeping an eye on him in Florida. I loved his bat, but I wasn't really tuned into the Marlins, so I didn't really know what his day to day behavior was like. He wasn't popular in the locker room, but I just maybe put it down to maybe like the Marlins. But I'll tell you what, kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like the stuff that he said in the World Series was a distraction. Um, I mean, he said stuff like yesterday. What was it like? He wasn't with the four errors, and he was like, don't worry, we're great." It's just there's just something I don't like about it. I just don't think he's accountable, and I think he's lazy at times. He reminds me of Willie Mays. That's a great comparison. Yes, he does. That's it. I might even coin that. I might just call him Willie Mays Hayes from now on. Jazz Mays Hayes, because he is kind of like that. He's like Jazz Mays Hayes. That's it. Thank you, Karen. I'm getting a star for that. That's his new nickname now. I'm gonna write that down. Jazz Mays Hayes. Because he is. It's too cool for school. But it's gone. It's like it was kind of like that the scene in Step Brothers where the Step Brothers went for an interview, and then they started farting, and it was a total fucking train wreck, right? And then the guy was like, at first I thought it was kind of funny, but now it just seems a little fucked up now. That's where I'm at with Jazz Chisholm. It's like at first it was funny, now it's just a little fucked up. Now it's not so funny. Now it's just a little fucked up. That's kind of where I'm at now. If Boone is still here next year, I have no hope for next season. Oh, absolutely, man. I'm I don't know what I would do. I don't know. I can't let you guys down. I think you guys deserve an outlet, so I'll try and keep this podcast going. But I'll tell you what, man, Aaron Boone is driving me insane. I can't stand the kid. I can't stand him. I just can't stand him. Like everything that he represents, I fucking despise. That whole just like attitude, I hate it. That whole being best friends with everyone shit, hate it. Disinterest in winning, disinterest in preparation, disinterest in holding this logo to the highest standards. Fucking hate it. His lack of bullpen management, hate it. Lack of fundamentals, despise it. And his just overall demeanor of softness, can't stand it. Oh yeah, he's definitely finishing out the season. Even if they lose every single game for the rest of the year, he's gonna keep. He's not gonna get fired, and I'm still not even sure if he will get fired because Brian Cashman said last week that the Yankees are the defending American League champions. It doesn't sound like he's all that worried about this season. During that interview last week, there was no mention of the Yankees underperforming, the Yankees' horrible standard of baseball, embarrassing standard of baseball. No mention of that. It was like, we're the defending American League champions. They're delusional. They're a delusional organization. And it's freaking heartbreaking. I have the same thing, Jonathan. Dude, I don't know about you, but I ain't seen no shows for me to watch, and the Yankees are not watchable. So maybe I should cancel it. I think I should cancel it. I quite like that John Hamm series, My Friends and Neighbors. That was on Apple. I watched that. That was the only thing I've watched on Apple in like a couple of years, apart from the occasional Yankee blowout. So I don't know if that's really worth money. So yeah, man, I don't know about that either. Oh, don't say that, Donald. I know. Karen, I wish. I wish I could tell you that I had confidence that the Yankees uh, would hold themselves accountable, but I've not seen it since 2018. It's been 7+ years, almost 8 years of this. 8 years. That's crazy. When you look at sports in general and the changes that happen, like around sports in general, annually, heck, weekly, and then the Yankees that do nothing for 8 years but regress and be very proud of it. I can't say I've seen that before. Like it's crazy. Like for instance, you look at the Knicks. Like 8 years ago, the Knicks were unwatchable joke of an organization. They were the butt of jokes. 8 years later, they're genuine NBA title contenders. Sports changes a lot. They've had multiple coaches in that time, multiple changes, completely changed their framework of their organization. Organizations change in 8 years. The Yankees don't. Why is that? The Knicks made the conference finals last year. Still fired Tom Thibodeau because they needed a change and they think that this guy's an upgrade. The Yankees make no changes. Why is that? There's something I'm not understanding here. The sports world is highly competitive, but the Yankees are basically handing out participation trophies. You know what I'm saying? Like I think they're not interested. They're not interested in competition. They're not interested in winning. They're interested in participation trophies and delusion. Other organizations make tons of changes. Yankees make none, and they're proud of it. And they blame you for having any complaints about it. I think it's time for the Yankees to trade Judge in the offseason, just like the Red Sox did with Devers. Red Sox pitching knows how to get him out, and he doesn't seem to adjust. Reich, I agree. I would send a message, but management would never do that. And Jonathan is right. His trade market is minuscule due to his immense contract. Judge isn't tradable. Oh boy. Let me think about this. I'm not the biggest Judge fan because I don't think he's a leader. But he's also arguably the best player in baseball. Probably inarguably the best player in baseball. And I respect him for that. And when he's great, he's freaking mesmerizing. I'm not sure if he's a winning player. I've never seen him win. Thus, I can't tell you that he's a winning player. But long story short, I don't think he's tradable, and nor would I try and trade him. He's a solution, not the problem. I'm not sure if his mentality is a solution, though. And that's something that I do not like. And I would never, ever give him the captaincy. That's his problem. He's been given the captaincy and he doesn't deserve it. His performance on the field is not a problem. The Yankees would send a message in other ways, in much better ways. They would send a message by sending Anthony Volpe to AAA. They would send a message by firing Aaron Boone. That is sending a message. That's sending a strong message and sending the right message. They would send a message by the next time that Jazz Chisholm lollygags it to first base and gets thrown out. or gets caught out in the base paths, and the Yankees bench him. That's sending a message. Sending a message is making wholesale changes what they need to do at management and personnel level in the offseason. That's sending a message. Firing, get rid of Aaron Judge is not sending the right message. That's just sending a message that they're giving up. So that's not the right message. Getting rid of the best player in baseball is not sending the right message. And he's not Rafael Devers either. Devers refused to play position. He's a cancer. That's why the Red Sox have done well to get rid of him. Aaron Judge isn't that. He's a very hands-on. He's a polite dude. He's a hard worker. He's a very good person. He's someone that you do want to represent your franchise. So I don't think it's similar to Devers. I get the frustration because I'm just as frustrated as you guys, but he's not the problem. Nor should he be the captain. But you can't walk that back. You can't unbreak that egg. That egg's been broken, so he's the captain. He doesn't deserve it, but he's the captain. So just have to ride that out. But what you do need to do is ignore his pleas for Aaron Boone and get a fucking manager. That's what you need to do. Don't send a message by moving on from him, even though he's untradeable. But even if you could, that's sending the wrong message. That's costing you money. It's costing you fans. It would be chaos. There's no way that you could have positive PR after trading Aaron Judge. He's arguably the best right-handed hitter the Yankees have created in a generation. So that's not the right message. He's the face of the franchise. That's not happening. But I get your point, but there's better ways to send a message. I would far sooner trade Jazz Chisholm and DFA Anthony Volpe and just cut our losses with some of these dreadful players that we have playing every day before I would even consider any issues with our stars. Our stars are untouchable. So I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely, I'm annoyed by his comments, but as a player, he's great, and we're very blessed to have him. But he needs to be tougher, and I'm not sure. I've not seen anything from him in the playoffs, or in big games that leads me to believe that he has the mentality that's required to win every day. But the Yankees' level has changed. That's not what they're interested in anymore, sadly. John walked up 9th time. Is that just so you can listen to me rant about the Yankees, my guy? That's something. That's impressive. 9 walks. That's a lucky pup. That pup must be delighted. Well, he must be exhausted as well, to be fair. Well, that was a pretty solid rant. The Yankees have embarrassed themselves again. I really don't know what they're going to do. I would love to make some serious changes. I would love Jorge Posada to be the manager. I would love anything like that. Heck, I saw Brad Ausmus talk to our pitchers, and it looks like he's far more engaged in the game than Aaron Boone is. Maybe Ausmus. I would like a change. Aaron Boone doesn't look interested. He looks defeated. He looks lost. He looks broken. He should have been fired long ago. He should have been fired after this embarrassment. Just painful and sad. An embarrassing product that if the Yankees cared, they would never, ever, 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 ever allow this to happen. But it continues to happen. And it's not going to change. Even if the Yankees win tomorrow, maybe they will. Rodon's on the mound. They got a shot. But then they face the Astros, and there's more games with the Blue Jays. And are you guys convinced that this team's going to go on a run? No, not against above 500 teams. They can't do it, and the playoffs are going to get found out. It's time for change. This is pathetic. Demon D. Dude, I don't know, I'm lost with this team. I'm lost. What can I say? I'm lost with them. Partly hurt, mostly embarrassed. Pathetic. Pathetic product, pathetic organization, pathetic front office, pathetic manager, pathetic coaching staff, pathetic mentality, pathetic owner, pathetic. Pathetic. That's the title of this podcast. Pathetic. That's what the Yankees are. They should be absolutely ashamed of themselves, but they're not. They're proud of themselves. Well, until they fix that, then nothing will change. I'll keep saying it. I'll do a podcast every fucking week until they wake up and realize what they are doing. They are destroying this franchise with the death of a million cuts. It's just constantly stripping away everything that the Yankees used to stand for. The Yankees are better than this. They're a prideful organization. We've got a prideful fan base, a knowledgeable fan base. They should not be disrespected like this. Have some fucking shame. I think they are doing it deliberately at this point as well. I think they are trying to prove a point to the fans because they're targeting the fans instead of targeting how to get better. They've been doing it for years. I do not disagree with you. They're soft. They are incredibly soft. Chris Kirschner tweeted, "What an embarrassing product the Yankees have put on the field this weekend." How about this from Chris Kirschner? Volpe has been one of the sport's least valuable players this season. He has the third worst WRC plus among all qualified shortstops. He's been the ninth worst base runner amongst all shortstops, and he's been the third worst defender at shortstop and outs above average. His .276 on base percentage is the third worst among all qualified hitters in Major League Baseball, and that the Yankees treat Volpe as if he's untouchable and above recourse. It's a fucking disgrace. And I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. It's embarrassing. We have an embarrassing shortstop, and the Yankees are embarrassingly unaccountable. Have some fucking shame. How dare you embarrass us with this product? Yankees, Red Sox. The dynasty would never play like that against the Red Sox. Never fucking ever. Have some fucking shame. Shame on all of them. That's it. That's my rant. That's my rant for Saturday. God bless you all for hanging in there. 2 hours strong. I think I got enough off my chest. Who knows what they'll do next time to piss me off? You might see me come back sooner than next Saturday if they continue to do any more embarrassing things. God bless. Thank you, John, and God bless you for always being excited for a Yankified podcast. Really do appreciate it. That tweet was an indictment on Boone's incompetency. Absolutely. And this 2 hour podcast was an indictment on the Yankees 2 hour shit show that they put on the show this afternoon. Fucking disgraceful. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone that took time to watch. Have a great weekend. Be sure to check out the Upper Deck and with Lynn and Sierra. I'm sure they'll have plenty to say, and it'll be very interesting. And of course, there's Monday, Uncle Tats. Hopefully, Rob will be back on Monday, and we will break down the series and continue to dig into them. So yeah, plenty more content on the Pinstripe Chronicles. And I didn't have the right intro at the start, so this is the right intro, and that will be how I'll end it. All right, God bless you all. Take care.